Hey everyone, Richard Metalfan here, bringing you guys a 2015 album review, and today we're going to be looking into the new album from Trivium entitled Silence in the Snow, which came out yesterday. Now, this is the band's seventh studio album, and this is the follow up to 2013's Vengeance Falls. And this album is also their first album with the new drummer Matt Madero, who replaced Nick Augusto. So this is their third drummer. I feel like they're kind of like Spinal Tap going through drummers, but anyway. And this album, Silence in the Snow, is pretty different from all of Trivium's other albums, basically. And one thing to note about is the vocals on this album, which is the first album since The Crusade in 2006 to have just clean vocals. I mean, but which a lot of people have sort of like mixed feelings about. I mean, honestly, I feel like it's not too bad. I mean, I just hate that people say, "Oh, it sucks without that." A lot of people are saying that this album good isn't good without the screaming. And honestly, I don't really see what the big deal is. I mean, music isn't should be showcased just by the vocal talent. It's just by the music, and the music itself is pretty good. I mean, I wouldn't say it's like the greatest, but it's good. And the thing about this album is the production. The production is pretty solid. I mean, yep. And yep, let's talk about the vocal work is from Matt Heafy. I mean, obviously this album doesn't have any harsh vocals at all. It's all clean singing, and I feel like Matt's clean singing on this album is really good. I mean, I feel like his vocals have just improved a lot, and I think that's one of the standout things on this album. And the guitar work from Matt and Corey Bolio is just really good. Both of those guys can shred. Bass playing from Paul Gregoletto, I feel like you can hear his bass a lot more on this album. And Matt Madero's drumming, the first album with him on drums, like I said, I feel like he's pretty much a good drummer, I have to say. But yeah, let's get into this album. Now, the album opens up with an intro called Snowfall, which is a interesting way to start off this album. It's about a minute and a half, and a cool one thing to note about this intro is that this intro is actually composed by Ishan, from legendary old school black metal band Emperor. It's a pretty good, interesting way to start off this album, which leads into the title track, Silence in the Snow. Now, this song is one of the long been around for a long time since I heard in interviews from the band. Like, this song was written back in 2007, and this song originally was going to be on Shogun, but for some reason it didn't make the cut. So yeah, it's interesting to see a song that took like about 8 years in the making to get onto an album. And when I first heard this song, I was kind of didn't really know how to feel about the song. But honestly, this song, after listening to it a few times when it first came out, had really grown on me, and I really like I feel like Matt's vocals just sound really great on this song. Then we get to the next on the album, which is Blind Leading the Blind, which this song kind of has a little bit of an old school metal vibe to it. And I thought it was a good song, but I feel like honestly there should be some more. I feel like there should be more to that added to that song. I don't really know what, but I feel like there should have been more. Then we get to Dead and Gone, which has some very intricate guitar work, I have to say. It just feels a little simplistic. I mean, I don't really know. And the vocals, Matt's vocals on that song for some reason kind of remind me a little bit of Corey Taylor's a little bit. I don't know. I feel like that's just me. Then we get to the next song, The Ghost That's Haunting You, which just has some very impressive vocal work and just some amazing guitar solos. And I really love the harmonized guitar parts and some of that, and the song. Can't speak today, sorry. Then we get to Pull Me From the Void, which has a stellar guitar solo on that song and just some great vocal range from Matt. I feel like his vocal range has gotten way better. I don't really know what I just said, but yeah. Then we get to Until the World Goes Cold, which for some reason this song kind of sounds a little bit radio friendly, but has a little bit of an edge to it. And this song kind of reminds me a little bit of Breaking Benjamin a little bit, which I saw a lot of people compare it to, and I can kind of hear it a little bit. It kind of sounds a little bit like Diary of Jane. That's just me. Then we get to Rise Above the Tides, some good showcasing vocals. I mean, I just can't stop saying how good the vocals are. I feel like Matt did a really good job. So Matt, if you're watching this, good job, man. Then we get to the thing that's killing me, which this has a little bit of a thrash-like song to it. And I think it's a good thrash Sheila type song. Then we get to Beneath the Sun. For some reason, the song kind of reminds me of something I would hear from Shogun a little bit. It feels like it could have been on Shogun. Then we get to Breathe in the Flames, which is the last song off the standard edition, which has a little bit of a mellow, eerie type intro and then sort of gets into it. And it has sort of like mixture of stuff from like their the previous 6 albums. It's a good song. Then we get to the 2 bonus tracks on the special edition, which we start with, like with Breathe in the Flames. So we have Cease All Your Fire, which has a very eerie intro. It was a pretty good song, one of my favorite songs off this album. Then we get to The Darkness of My Mind, and one of the best songs on this album. I think it's a really good song. Now, overall, Silence in the Snow by Trivium, it's a pretty interesting album, I have to say. I mean, I feel like if I listen to it a few more, it'll probably grow on me. If I were to give this album a score, I'd probably give this like about an 8 or an 8.5 out of 10. So, yep, that's my review of the new Trivium, guys. Thank you guys for watching. See you all later. Keep it metal.